We can do other things.
Oh!
Other things.
Yeah, other things. Legend, tell us about your little thing that you want to do.
All right. Well, occasionally we have slow news weeks here, and we'll throw out a topic and for the four of us to go around and discuss it. The topic we came up with this week or a couple weeks ago, but then we had Pete on the show, and Pete could talk, and he's more entertaining than our topic, so we went with that. We're going to talk about a little bit of rides and attractions we miss at theme parks. We're going to go around and give our top 5 of each of us.
All right, who are we starting with?
And it doesn't have to be a ride or attraction if you really miss, a popsicle they used to sell or something like that. But we're going down with our top 5.
All right. Adam, I think you should start.
I don't think I should.
Rocco!
The one that wasn't prepared.
Rocco!
Okay, I will start. Some of the things I picked may still be available at some amusement parks, but not in the capacity that it was once in the day.
That works.
Okay. So, first I have to say hi to my friend Alex, who's listening to the show right now from King's Dominion. I believe she's probably with Kevin right now. Shoop. My first pick will be Fascination. I know there's Fascination out there, but there used to be hundreds of Fascination parlors, if not thousands, in the 40s, around that era. So much so that there were tables that weren't even anywhere near amusement parks. It was almost like going down to a local pool hall. You'd go to the Fascination tables. Those are days I miss.
What are fascination?
Well, Clint, if you would have hung out at Knoebels a little bit longer.
Oh, yeah, they got them at Knoebels, but you sped walked right by them.
Yeah, you did.
You have to find the food and then leave.
Legend, you're hurting my feelings, man. What's going on?
Sorry.
All right, what is this table?
Okay, Fascination, also known as California Bingo. You throw a ball down a table, it goes over a little hump, and then, so that what makes it hard for you to aim where it's going to go. Then you have a corresponding 5x5 grid of holes at the opposite end of the table, and then corresponding lights above the table for when your ball goes in that hole, the corresponding light lights up. You want to get 5 in a row, 5 diagonal, 5 up and down, 5 across, and you win.
Huh.
There's also other games. A lot of parlors will do other games, coverall, four corner, stuff like that. Same games that you play with bingo cards. And then you collect your tickets and you win your prizes.
All right.
From like a random
It's very addictive.
Like lenders, and you can still do all this at Knoebels. It's pretty awesome.
I know Indiana Beach has it as well. I used to play all the time when I was
They have
living over there.
Fascination as well. That's right.
None of the Fascinations were as good as Flipper's Fascinations at Maury's. That was the guy that was just on Hoarders a couple weeks ago. He used to be the purveyor of that establishment.
Do they still have Fascination at Maury's, Rocco?
Not under Randy Senna with Flippers, which was the famous one, where he would he did great color commentary of the games. And then he had Crazy 8 there also, where after every game he gave you another ball until you ended up with 8 balls playing coverall at the end. Great times. I totally, if you see a Fascination table at any amusement park, I am telling you to go in right now and check it out.
Now, Rocco, what are some of the parks that used to have Fascination that no longer do?
Cedar Point, where Johnny Rockets is. My friend Lindsay actually used to be the person that would do the color commentary of the games and take your money and do all that. Let's see. A lot of your older ones, I believe Kennywood used to have tables. Knoebels still has tables. Indiana Beach has tables. There was one other park I went to that had tables, and I can't remember where it was. I want to say, not Worlds of Fun, but I'm going to think of another place that has. I'm going to put it out to our users. If you know somewhere to our listeners, if there's, well, they could be users, they're getting their fix right now. But let's put it out to our listeners. If you know where Fascination is at other locations I haven't said, please say so in the chat.
2 of the people in the chat room said Kenobi Lake Park and Kings Island.
Kings Island does not have Fascination.
No, used to.
Oh, used to. Okay, yeah.
It's a fun game, but it's not easy to find anymore.
All right, what's next? Or do we all go around and say our number 5?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. I'll go next. My number 5 is something I've never had a chance to experience, but would have liked to experience, and that is Smurf Mountain at King's Dominion.
Ah. Now, this is where Volcano is, right?
Yes. I guess they had several rides in there from time to time. Smurf Mountain, Haunted something or other, Time Shaft, and I would have enjoyed to have seen what those rides were like.
Well, Time Shaft was a rotor.
Yeah,
I
rode Time Shaft in Haunted River a long time ago, like 93, 94, something like that.
No, okay.
And Haunted River was a good time. It was a creepy kind of dark ride. I don't remember a whole lot about it. And Time Shaft was your general rotor. By the time I got to the park that year, I guess Smurf Mountain was already closed. But Haunted River was a good time.
All right.
I have the original commercials for the first year of the mountain with the rotor or with the Time Shaft and the boat ride, and there was one other ride, but I didn't get the third commercial. Yeah.
All right, Adam?
5 big worlds of fantasy all rolled into one. King's Dominion, you're gonna love it.
You know, I think I'm going to stay with where Clint's going on this one with kind of old defunct rides. And, you know, as everybody, a lot of people know, my old and kind of park, my home park for the longest time was Kings Island, where I grew up and everything else. And, you know, I had ridden, Phantom Theater and Scooby-Doo, but I never got to ride the Enchanted Voyage. But I did ride the Smurfs, but I don't remember it. So I think kind of previous rides that were there where the Scooby's, shooter ride is, I think a lot of those were cool. And actually what was really cool about them is they were actually big boat rides. So it wasn't a system like it is now. They were both big, huge boats like Amazon Falls, like the shoot rides, but they didn't drop at all. They were like Pirates of the Caribbean is what they were. So, you know, I kind of wish I'd like to ride those. I think they're cool, and I like finding old pictures of them, and I think this is a big thing for me. I really like looking back and seeing kind of the history of the way parks move, and I think that's a ride that I wish I could have got to ride at Kings Island. So,
yeah, one I always wanted to ride there was that Phantom Theater. I thought that looked cool.
Phantom Theater was awesome. That one I do remember very, very well. And you know what? That one was awesome.
That really one it kind of gave the Disney Haunted Mansion vibe, didn't it?
Yeah, kind of. And actually, the cars are the same, as they are now. So they had that big arched back on them, and they kind of rolled. But it was good, man. You know, it wasn't scary at all, but it was more funny and more kind of. I do remember being a kid when it came out in '93, and I remember seeing it in the papers in Cincinnati, thinking this thing's going to be terrifying because they kind of released it as this new dark ride attraction that was like a haunted house type thing. And I remember being a kid and being pretty scared, but, the older I got, the more I'm like, this is kind of a cool classic ride. The cool thing about it is they still use a lot of the characters and ride vehicles, some of the old ride vehicles, during their Halloween event and their Haunt Fest. So, if you didn't get to ride it, or even if you did get to ride it, you kind of get to look back and see what it was. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool thing that they got to use together.
Cool.
Nice.
All right, I guess I got to round at the table. Mine, sort of a sentimental favorite, not a good ride by any means, but mine was the old Viper at Six Flags Great Adventure. A ride that was short and hurt like a bitch, but I always thought it was neat with the coils around it.
What was it?
It was a Togo. It was a terrible ride, but it was kind of fun. Really steep drop. It had the weird inline twist at the end. It's where El Toro is now.
Okay.
I think I missed that by like one or... when did that shut down?
It didn't operate a whole lot. It operated for like 3 years, and then operated on and off for 4 or 5. But it hurt a lot, but it had a really cool steep drop, and I had good memories pretty much from going with my friends, I would say, and joking around about it.
If I could step in real quick, I never got to ride that ride, but I did get to ride a lot of existing Togo rides, basically the stand-up coasters. I really hope that no one on this show says any Togo stand-up coasters, because really the few that are in existence still, I hope leave here in the next few years because they can't. So please, guys, do not say like King Cobra at Kings Island. Okay?
You guys are going to be happy to know that King's Dominion will never remove theirs. It's going to be there forever.
Good, that's what I wanted to hear.
Forever?
Yes, because every park that removes their stand-up coaster, all the parts show up at King's Dominion.
Well, you still got the one in Canada's Wonderland, so if they get rid of that one, maybe you might be getting parts and pieces for that baby.
Yeah, the King Cobra trains are still sitting behind Flight of Fear right now.
Hey guys, real quick, before we get into continuing this list, there's a news story we missed. Thorpe Park just announced today their 2012 ride called the Swarm. It's another wing rider. I think a lot of people have seen like the preliminary for everything for this, but it's going to be awesome, just so everybody knows. And I'll put real quick just a link to where you can find the story and whatnot here at News.
This is totally throwing off the vibe of what we were doing, Adam. I'm sorry.
I know, but I just saw it, and it reminded me that I saw this today. I'm like, that looks really freaking cool. So,
This is the one with the apocalypse. Like the apocalypse
go ahead.
theme.
Who's next?
Oh, that looks pretty cool. Just the
Yeah,
artwork. Sold.
All right,
See
Rocco.
how impulsive I am?
Hey, Rocco, are you going to drive over to Thorpe Park then?
You know what? I probably won't.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't even see myself going across seas. I'm not much of a... I might wait till the war's over and then might think about leaving the continental United States.
I was going to say, if you're going to drive to Thorpe Park, you might as well just stop and see our friend Freaky Tiki in Hawaii.
Yeah, right.
It's on the way.
Yeah.
All right,
Rocco, what's your number
four?
Oh, my number 4.
Number
Ready for
4.
this? Well, my number 4 item that is most missed at amusement parks is diving horses. I don't think there's enough diving horses out there these days.
Pretty sure
And
that'll
was-
violate the animal cruelty laws of the past
Yeah,
20
I
years.
mean, those were the days. Donkeys, horses diving.
What is a diving horse? I don't even... Is this
It's
a
pretty
game?
much a horse they pushed out of a large platform, and it fell into a pool.
But from high, like really high.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
I just Googled diving horses from online, and they have like old pictures of like horses falling from towers. How
Wait,
the,
and they
how the hell
live?
did they get them up into the tower?
There was a pathway to get him up into the tower.
This is insane. And people are riding the horse.
That's funny.
Wasn't this like in Braveheart at one point? No, I think it was. Wasn't it in Braveheart? Like he rode the horse into the bedroom to kill the guy. He killed the guy, and then the people were coming to kill him, so he rode the horse out the window off the cliff. I'm pretty sure. And you could definitely tell the horse was fake. This is crazy. I want to get some YouTube video of this going.
Where I used to remember it was the Magic Forest in Lake George. They used to have one. I don't know if they still do. I'm assuming they probably don't. But Magic Forest in Lake George, that's where I would see my diving horse show. Where did you see yours, Rocco?
I in fact have never seen a real life diving horse show. I've only seen them movie tone news type things.
They still have a diving horse show at the Magic Forest.
Really?
Yes, it's not a very far one, but they do have it.
Well, I'm looking at the video of this, and the horse pretty much ran up the ramp and jumped off himself. So it's not like somebody pushed him off or the ramp gave way. The horse did it.
Well, you get whipped 1,000 times and see if you do it on your own at that point.
At that point, you're gonna do it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Magic Forest in Lake George, you could still go see a diving horse show.
Adam's Swarm thing just put me off the internet for some reason.
Weird.
I'm still on Skype, but I can't get onto Facebook or coastercrew.net or anywhere.
Well, I don't understand why people would want to watch a horse jump.
Same reason people go to the Indy 500. They want to see a crash.
That's sad.
Why do people watch Circus of the Stars? So they could see Richard Mulligan fall off the higher wire and crush Screech.
Wow. All right.
Back on.
Diving horse show.
Number 4 for Adam.
You know what? I'm gonna have to say for number 4, the brass ring carousel. Because I like carousels a lot, but really after you ride the one at Knoebels, it kind of gives you a feel for like giving you a reason to ride a carousel more than once. Everybody rides a carousel once, and if you got a kid, you ride it a bunch. But really, when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, you got no reason to ride a carousel. You're like, whatever. But putting that brass ring on there just adds a little more excitement on it. Kind of gives you, gives the ride a little more excitement than normal. So, and then Clint Novak would not know about this either, because he did pass the one at Knoebels. But
Hey,
anyway,
I stopped and watched it, okay? I watched it. I watched it.
I bet that was really exciting, wasn't it?
You know what?
Game over.
It was as exciting as riding it, trust me.
So that's my number 4. You know, I think it's a cool thing, and if you ever get to a park that has one, just take the time to ride it. You know, just do it to say you did it. You have to look at it like back in the 1920s, like every carousel was a brass ring carousel because we don't have these limitations and stuff to worry about and people suing parks and everything else. And you know what? The ones that are left they're still awesome and they're so much fun. And please, 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 if you guys ever go to any amusement parks with a brass ring carousel, ride it. So there's only a few left.
And don't break your fingers and sue the parks, because then there will be none left.
Yeah, exactly. Don't sue the park. Don't break your fingers.
All right.
Don't act stupid. That's the point.
My number 4 is actually just a promotion that a park did, and that is a 25-cent cotton candy that Cedar Fair did a couple of years back. So
that's a good one.
You know, I have not eaten cotton candy probably since. Maybe like had a handful here and there somebody was offering, but I've never purchased cotton candy since, and I probably only purchased it like twice before then. But the year they did that, I bought so much frickin' cotton candy. My God. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't even think about that.
So there you go. 25-cent cotton candy like 4 years ago that Cedar Fair was doing it. All right, legend.
All right, mine, staying here in the state of Florida, would be the old Back to the Future ride at Universal. Actually, and the one in Hollywood, too. I rode that one as well. Cool ride. You got to ride in the DeLorean, and it was really neat, I thought. Obviously, it's where Simpsons is now. Simpsons uses the same ride system, same
Simpsons
buildings.
Did it.
Yes, they did. They killed it. But Back to the Future, very cool ride. You know, kind of bumpy, made you a little bit sick depending on who you were, but sitting in the DeLorean and going through time like that, really well done. And plus, Doc Brown was in the pre-show. Now, one thing that is really cool about this is that if you buy the latest Back to the Future collection, they put the ride on the DVD, which I think is just fantastic.
Awesome. Let's go to number 3, Rocco.
My number 3, well, I had written down ring carousels, so for exactly the same reasons as Adam. So I'm going to have to go to my number 2. Actually, I have extras, so yeah, number 2. Some good, have heard of them before in my lifetime entertainment.
What do you mean?
I mean, every time I'm on the Six Flags page, I see somebody's playing in a concert. I have no idea who they are. Never have heard of them before in my life. Because I hearken to the date. Now I have an asterisk next to this because it was the night we were going to be talking to Pete Owens. I have an asterisk next to Dollywood because Dollywood is probably one of the better entertainment, and you can see Dolly occasionally, which is nice. But like back in the day, like big names used to play amusement parks. Fats Domino, Louis Armstrong, Glenn Miller Band. Like they would come to Chicago, talk on WGN News, and promote their one-night only show at Indiana Beach, and then that place would be packed. And I just missed, that kind of entertainment value.
Well,
Maybe seeing Kiss at Six Flags Magic Mountain.
I think it also depends on the park. Six Flags right now, they go after all, teeny bopper bands. But, some parks like Universal down here, they do free concerts and they're really big name bands.
Yep, agreed.
So it depends on the park.
All right, asterisk Universal Studios.
or like
well, wait a
Epcot
minute.
Center does.
I was just going to say Epcot.
Well, but they do like weird stuff. It's like one-hit wonders from the 80s and 90s will come and sing 4 songs.
Yeah, but you got to realize I've never been to Epcot. I've never
it's like the best place ever.
Seen Epcot.
The hottest girls in the world live at Epcot.
There are some attractive looking women at Epcot.
I haven't been to Disneyland since I was 6.
Well,
Or Disney
they've
World.
definitely gotten hotter since you were 6.
Yeah, they have.
Nice, because I thought they were hot then. I still treasure my Snow White autograph on my cast.
Nice.
Okay, so Asterix, Epcot, Dollywood, and Universal Studios. Anybody else? Seen a great show? I'm not talking about seeing Survivor.
Busch Gardens had Colby Calais there the other day.
Who the fuck is Kobe Calais?
She's hot, though.
Adam, what's your number 3?
I'm gonna need help here because for some reason I cannot think of like the name of the roller coaster. My number 3 is like extinct breeds of roller coasters, like flying turns before they're gone. There's a roller coaster. What's that?
Virginia Reel.
Virginia Reel. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you.
I knew what he was talking about before he even described the coaster.
You know what? I've seen pictures of these, and they just look like crazy little wild mouses. Basically, I don't think any of them had any lap bars in them. And I really wish there was still one or two around because they look wicked cool. And I think just all around any of those roller coasters that don't exist at all anymore.
You know what? Maybe Knoebels could start building one now and finish it in like 2017 or so.
Well, you know, with a Virginia Reel, I feel like I could have more faith in them because really all they got to do is keep it in a trough, which is already designed for.
No, but yeah, I mean, I can see where you're coming from things like that. Or you watch like old videos of like Coney Island in its heyday, and you see like these crazy fun houses that just look incredible that would never fly nowadays with modern.
Oh, the human pool pinball table and stuff.
Exactly,
Yeah.
things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just look incredible.
Got to go to Europe for crazy stuff like that.
Yep.
Thank you, U.S. government, and your suing ways.
All right, my number 3 is still on the food, and that is the shrimp that Busch Gardens Williamsburg used to do. Because they used to have the shrimp stand where they would...
You would make me stop every single time we were there.
Oh, it was the best shrimp
You'd have
ever.
the biggest smile on your face.
Oh, it was great. And they don't have it anymore. They do hot dogs there now. It sucks.
Oh.
Yeah, no good. No bueno. So I miss my shrimp.
That's so sad.
All right.
I love a good shrimp.
Legend?
Mine would be the monorail at Busch Gardens, Tampa. I always thought this was the coolest thing. It was a monorail that hung underneath the track and would go by where the animals are, and it could get a better view of the animals than you could on the train. And I just have fond memories of it. Used to go down there every year to visit Grandma. We'd go to Busch Gardens every year, and that was one of my favorite things. Obviously, it had to go and make way for progress, but I have good memories of it. And it was something really cool.
All right, going back to number 2, Rocco.
All right, my number 2 would have to be men in suits and hats and women in dresses and hats.
Hate this idea.
What?
Why?
This is the worst idea ever.
Ever.
It's
Do you know how
class.
hot it is here in Florida?
It's been 100 degrees like 6 days in a row here. You can't get people to go when they can walk around their bikinis.
All right, well then, can I change it to what I
No,
miss?
we disagree with you, but we want to hear your reasoning.
I just like the pomp and the circumstance and making it an event going to an amusement park. Not just mommy and daddy dropping you off at the kiss and ride and picking you up when the park closes so the park's your babysitter all day. I'm tired of seeing people taking their flip-flops off of rides that they don't have to take their flip-flops off of rides. I'm tired of being on flying coasters and seeing dirty feet in my face the whole ride.
Yeah, dirty feet.
I do not like it when girls have their hair down on the roller coaster in front of you, because then you're just getting hit in the head with hair.
That's
When
what
it gets in your mouth.
Ugh. I hate it.
What if the chick's hot?
Don't matter. If her hair's in my face, that's just nasty. Especially
How
after a
long is her hair that it's in your face?
Oh my god, it happens all the time. Like when girls will ride, they don't put their hair in a ponytail or anything. It's just all over the place. Like I hope it gets stuck in the restraint, and then when they open it, it rips out of their head. That's what I feel.
I've got pictures of that on Catapult at New England. Just chunks of hair inside the safety restraints.
Yep. All right, Adam.
I'm going to say number 2 is going to be, it's going to take a little description, but, the simple days of amusement parks, the days when you go to a park and not really worry about getting hurt or not getting worried about coming out of there suing the park because I tripped on something or this and that. You know, the days when, you know, there were safety regulations and there were things to keep people safe, but you would go to an amusement park and not have to worry about stuff, you know, and nobody was worried about, oh, I got cut on a handrail or something. You know, when people really didn't care, when people used to go to parks and just enjoy themselves and it wasn't this big thing with lawyers and all this crap involved, you know, I just think it's gotten crazy. You know, there is a time and a place for, you know, when there is an accident on a ride and actions do need to be taken, but, you know, sometimes there's not. You know, sometimes it's just, oh, a lawyer can make some money or I can make some money because, you know, oh, I can't talk after I got off this roller coaster, you know. Just the simple days, man. Back in the day.
You know, that's more of a problem with society as a whole, too. You know, that's a sue happy society. Everyone's looking to make a cheap buck.
Mm-hmm. Didn't I say that earlier? Sue happy? Didn't I say that?
Yes, you did.
Litigious environment we live in these days.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy, isn't it?
People wonder why the ticket's so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
My number 2 is the Big Bad Wolf at Busch Gardens. Oh,
I had this I had it on my honorable mention list.
Oh, I love how mine really don't take all that much explaining.
I've never ridden it.
It was a good ride.
A good ride. Especially for Busch Gardens, you know, a park that really is kind of family friendly. It was an excellent family ride.
Yep.
Made use of the terrain. You know, the drop down by the water was fantastic. Swung through the little village.
All right, and Legend?
Mine would be the original Figment ride at Epcot, one of my favorite rides of all time. You know, whimsical, a real long ride. Nothing like the ride that's in there now, which is far inferior. You know, the story with the Dream Finder, and there were animatronics everywhere. And you got to go to the Image Works afterwards. Really cool. Retro Disney. My favorite ride that's no longer at a Disney park would be the original Figment.
All right. Nice. I probably rode the original Figment when I was a kid, but I don't remember.
What was it?
It was just a dark ride, but a really well done dark ride with you know, original characters and a long story, and it was very enjoyable.
All right, moving back to Rocco for the last and final number 1.
All right, these aren't in any general ranking order that I have, just 5 off the top of my head. And I'd have to say I probably miss beer gardens the most.
I don't even know what that is, but I like what you're saying.
Beer gardens were just a large area. Busch used to have a free beer garden, from what I
those
heard.
were fantastic.
Hospitality houses, baby. Those were awesome.
Yeah. Oh, man. How did that not make my list?
Yeah.
Screw Viper. I'm going to put free beer.
I would change all my answers to hospitality houses.
Yeah, the hospitality house at Tampa, Orlando.
Yeah, that's what I miss.
Oh, man. How did that... I should have thought harder.
I miss having to stay, you know, I don't like the days where I have to stay in a 10 by 10 square in order to drink my beer.
Yeah, and that depends on the park, too. Different parks have different rules. Some parks you could just wander wherever the hell you want with the beer, and some parks they have, you know, the beer can't leave this area.
Yeah.
It all depends on the state laws normally.
Yeah. But where did you find these beer gardens? I'm curious.
There used to be one, was in the tent for the American Eagle back in the day, when the queue line used to go through. And right when I turned drinking age, it was the awesomest thing in the world.
It's a dramatic difference from what's there now.
Yeah, to Wiggles World or whatever it's called now, yeah. And my honorable mention while I'm on is probably Old Mill rides. But I like to specify Old Mill rides that don't have camera monitoring systems.
Make out.
Yeah, what about a little privacy?
I remember going to the state fair. My grandma, me...
Minnesota's?
In Minnesota, yes.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's an old mill, too.
Yes. So we went there, and I was with my new girlfriend, I think of like 2 weeks at the time, and we went on the Tunnel...
Hot and heavy.
Yes, we went on the Tunnel of Love ride and made out the whole time.
Oh, shit.
And we get off the ride, and I said, Grandma, that was the stupidest ride ever. It was just dark, and there was nothing. There was like stupid little story things in there. And she goes, "You're supposed to make out the whole time." I was like, "Oh, we need to go on it again then." And we took another spin.
How was the second spin, Clint?
The second spin was much better than the first. Got a little more hot and heavy.
Was it a better storyline?
I don't even. You, shame on you. It was nothing like the fair I went to today, that's for sure. All right, Adam, you're number one.
This is an easy one for me. Now, granted, I wasn't around for the 1920s, but we've all read back in the 1920s there were, like, on estimate, 1,500 to 2,000 wooden roller coasters. You know, this is it's really sad that this happened. Basically, every small town in America, and this really hits hard, especially when you get up here to Pennsylvania. I mean, towns up here are maybe, 10 to 20 miles apart, and every little town up here had its own amusement park. And whether it had a little tiny Alan Herschel coaster or, a ride like the Phoenix or an out and back ride from Herbert Schmeck or whoever, those were the days when you could literally take, the train, you could take the ferry, you could take whatever, and go to an amusement park for a day. Every park was like super close to you. There was always a park close by. Things were good, and some of the rides weren't the greatest rides, but I'm sure we've all seen pictures of rides that are just out of control. The first one that comes to mind is the Crystal Beach Cyclone, or
Yes.
these classic historic coasters that because of the Great Depression we saw this huge demise of wooden roller coasters. I mean, can you imagine if there were if somebody wanted there to be 1,500 wooden roller coasters right now? I mean, we would be busy every day. We would be busy every year, and it's a shame that they all went away, and it kind of, you see this big fall of, we don't want to go ride the classic wood coaster. We want to go ride this, 8,000 feet tall, 45,000 mile per hour ride that
Coming soon to Canada's Wonderland.
Yes.
And you know what? There's nothing against those rides. I love I-305. I think it's awesome. I think it's crazy. It's out of control. But at the same time, I think there is a place for a classic wood coaster or two at every park. I mean, Hershey does the best. They have these big thrill rides, yet they still have our rides that charm back to the classic 20 rides that are fun for your family. And it's literally like a stepping stage. I think that's what's cool about old parks. And they'd have a ride for the kids, they'd have a ride for the family, and then they'd have a ride that kind of pushed the envelope. And I think it's all about having the perfect balance. You don't want to have all these thrill rides, and you don't want to have these little tiny rides or no rides at all. It's about having that nice balance where you can have the kids ride, and when they get older, you can ride it with mom and dad and grandma. And then, when they really want to push the envelope, they can ride this thing that's just going to literally knock your pants off. So, and it all got started from the 20s, from these old wood coasters that literally existed everywhere. And, can you imagine if there were 1,500 coasters right now, like in the U.S. alone? It'd be crazy. And I don't think there's even near that. So,
No, I don't think so either.
No,
those
I think
were the
there's
days.
like 600.
Even though I don't think any of us were around, I think a lot of us wish we could kind of go back there and see that and kind of listen and hear what the old designers had to say, especially like, Miller and Schmeck and all these guys. So, yeah.
I miss my Riverview.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? That's the thing. Everybody's got, I miss this park. These are old classic parks. And whether it was some tiny little park by you or a kiddie park or whatever, it's a shame, man. It's really a shame that a lot of these parks are forced to close by these bigwigs, So it's a shame there's not a balance, that these little parks can still thrive, but the big parks can do what they have to do, so.
Well, unfortunately, Riverview closed 2 years before I was born, but I've seen so many documentaries and everything. I just know I would have loved that place.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. It's a shame to see them go. And I understand there's need for change among the world, but why can't we change the parks instead of getting rid of them? So.
All right, go ahead.
And of course, Tim in the chat room says, "Save the Big Dipper,
Yeah.
Mr. Yaga Lake." What a guy! Go ahead, Clint.
They haven't burned that thing down yet? All right, my number one is the Hard Rock Park. Only existed for 1 year, and I really enjoyed the weekend that we had a chance to spend down there, and I really think it was a good idea, just wrong time and wrong place. But just, to go into a park that was more catered to adults than kids, and the food was amazing, and the entertainment was really, really good for, just a starting park. And rides weren't bad, they weren't spectacular, but it was something I really enjoyed. And so the Hard Rock Park is probably the number one thing I miss.
Yeah, I got the second year, so I got to see some of it in an altered form, but I never got to do the Moody Blues Dark Ride, which just looked incredible.
Oh man, yes, Moody Blues was amazing. Yep, and just, some of the fun things, like when you'd go into the guy's bathroom and go up to the urinals, they would have girls painted on the wall pointing down at your pee-pee and laughing. Just stuff like that. Like, you would never see that anywhere else, but you go to this amusement park and you go to the bathroom in the urinals and they got girls laughing at you.
Mm-hmm. Or like
man, why'd they fail?
The distorted mirror.
Why did they fail? What's that?
Or like the mirror that was actually a screen that would be seconds behind.
Yeah, so you're all distorted and stuff.
Yeah.
And the one VIP bathroom I got to go in, they had naked pictures of Marilyn Monroe. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yes, very great, very good place. What was the? And just the dirty humor that they had too, like the show, the weird surf show or whatever that they had. The first year that they were there, the initials of the show were the T&A show, and there was a lot of T&A in that show. So,
Asterix, Dollywood, Universal Studios, Epcot, and they're gone now. Good entertainment park.
they also had a roadie stunt show that they did, which was all right, but the best part was there was this really hot lead who, halfway through the show, had a bucket of water poured on her while she was wearing a white T-shirt.
Nice.
Oh, my God.
Okay, why did this park close and not get a golden ticket?
What in the hell
I've got a golden ticket.
Definitely deserved the golden ticket.
I know where they could have hung it.
Very, very dirty. They also had a weird mascot cow statue outside of their ice skating show that would squirt out of its udders at you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. So you'd be standing there and all of a sudden, squirt! You'd go up for a picture, squirt!
That sounds hot.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It looked like I remember you calling me like right after you were so excited you were like giddy almost.
Yeah.
I think you and Will were on the way home telling me all about it years ago.
Saying you need to get up there ASAP because from what we saw, they're not going to stay open long.
And you were correct.
Yep. All right, Legend, last one.
No surprise here. The same thing I cry about all the time.
Adventurers Club.
There it is. Clint got it right.
I was surprised it wasn't on the countdown, so I figured it was number one.
Yep. Combined a great themed atmosphere, wonderful actors, great storyline, fantastic environments with booze. So two of my favorite things: Walt Disney World, which is my favorite place. Do miss it, and it's just sitting there closed, which makes it even worse. I went to the movies today, and I had to walk by the closed Adventurers Club to get to the movies, and that just makes me sad.
Legend, can you explain what exactly this was?
Again.
You can't.
No, I said again.
Yeah, it was one of the bars in the old Pleasure Island nightclub district, but it was more of like a comedy / improv / character actor kind of thing. So you were in this great themed environment where different things would interact to you, whether it be talking to the masks in the mask room, or the character actors putting on a show at the stage. Similar to sort of the entertainment you'd see if you've seen the World Showcase Players at Epcot or the blah, 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 the Streetmosphere Players at the Citizens of Hollywood at Hollywood Studios, where they'll sort of mess with you and come up and talk to you or put on a show. It was a really good time. Hard to describe. Google it if you could look it out on a YouTube thing. But it was pretty much just the actors made it, the drinks made it, the atmosphere made it, and most of the time I was there, I was boozed up. So, But it was very unique. I guess that was part of it.